According to new reports, though, the Biden campaign is considering a new and bold strategy. What if Biden promised to serve only one term if elected? Would that work, or would it serve only to emphasize his advanced age?
Next on C-SPAN, we go live to the year 2027, where future two-term President Joe Biden is holding a press conference.
President Biden, now that you're a few years into your second term, people are starting to say that you're old.
You're a damn liar, man.
Welcome to Elected 2020 Tuesdays. I'm your host, Luke Radel. The next step in the impeachment proceedings of President Donald J. Trump is a trial in the Senate based on the two articles of impeachment from the House of Representatives, abuse of power and obstruction of Congress. Now, this trial isn't going to happen until January, but to save everyone some time, spoiler alert, Trump stays in office.
We all know how it's going to end. There's no chance the president's going to be removed from office.
Yes, just like the movie Titanic, it'll be exciting to watch while it lasts, it'll go on way too long, and we all know how it ends. Regardless of how the impeachment trial ends, because of the nature of the proceedings, it will have a major impact on many of the 2020 Democratic senators who are campaigning in states like Iowa and New Hampshire. And so, let's take a look at how this impeachment trial will affect the 2020 Democratic primary race. If impeached by the House, President Trump will be moving into a trial in the Senate where all 100 members of the Senate will have to sit and listen to evidence from the president's attorneys and the prosecutors in the House. Now, during this trial process, the candidates will have to remain in Washington, D.C., and they will not be allowed to say anything. Now, because these candidates who are senators will not be able to get out and mingle with Iowa voters before the caucus, this will definitely affect the Iowa caucus in 2020. Now, because this impeachment trial will have different impacts and effects on different campaigns, we can't really speak generally about how this is going to impact people. So, we're going to do what YouTube does best and create an arbitrary ranking system. First up on our arbitrary ranking system is Senator Amy Klobuchar. Senator Amy Klobuchar's campaign has been going downhill since, well, the beginning. But with her absence for the Senate impeachment trial and Joe Biden and Pete Buttigieg circling around those moderate voters, this impeachment trial may spell disaster for the Klobuchar campaign. Moving on, it's Senator Cory Booker. Like Amy Klobuchar's campaign, Senator Booker's campaign has not taken off yet, but the only reason he's a little bit higher on this list than Senator Klobuchar is because while Klobuchar has a packed moderate field with the Senate impeachment trial still going on, Cory Booker only has one progressive adversary, but I'll get to him in a minute. Next up is the senator from Vermont, Bernie Sanders. Senator Sanders will not be affected much by the impeachment trial. After all, the people who support Bernie in Iowa are going to continue supporting him, and it appears right now that the state he's most focused on is not Iowa, but New Hampshire. And if the impeachment trial is over as quickly as Republicans want it to be, Bernie will be back in plenty of time to campaign in the Granite State. Next up on the ARB rank sys, Senator Elizabeth Warren. While Senator Warren may not be happy that she won't be able to fight back against President Trump with words, she must be happy that her progressive rivals like Bernie Sanders and Cory Booker will be off the campaign trail for the duration of the impeachment trial process, and she will be able to retain her number one spot as the progressive leader of the Democratic Party. Coming down to the end here, we have former Vice President Joe Biden. It's hard to see many benefits for former Vice President Joe Biden in this upcoming impeachment trial. After all, many of the Republican counterpoints to the Democrats' impeachment articles are going to center around Joe Biden and his family. However, because Joe's not a senator, he won't be bound to silence and can respond to any of those points throughout the campaign. Next up, pretty high up on the list, is Mayor of South Bend, Indiana, Pete Buttigieg. The already on-the-rise Buttigieg may be able to capitalize on the absence of moderates like Klobuchar and the unkind spotlight placed on former Vice President Joe Biden in order to ride the moderate wing all the way to a victory on February 3rd. Last up in the top spot on our arbitrary ranking system, which doesn't actually matter, is entrepreneur Andrew Yang. Andrew Yang has been kind of the unknown underdog of this 2020 race, despite the fact that he's polling reasonably well, better than some of the candidates whose names you do know.
However, with Warren and Sanders off the campaign trail, this might be a time for a progressive candidate to get out into the field and capitalize on this moment. And this moment might be the time for Andrew Yang to shine.
Thank you for watching. This has been an arbitrary ranking system. Thanks for watching Elected News 2020 Tuesdays. Be sure to tune in this Sunday when we're going to be talking about the 6th Democratic presidential debate on Sunday night, December 22nd. Thanks for watching Elected 2020 Tuesdays. I'm your host, Luke Ring.